News cycles between now and Election Day are a precious commodity for both presidential candidates, especially, though, for Donald J. Trump, billionaire, who remains behind in the race. The Republican nominee's spat with Alicia Machado helped make last week a truly horrible one for Trump, one of his worst, and distractions for the Donald keep coming. Over the weekend, Trump world was hit with a big New York Times story showing the nominee declared a nearly $1 billion loss on his 1995 income tax returns, a loss that would have allowed him to limit his federal income tax burden over many years, maybe down to zero. It was a headline Clinton wasted no time bringing up today at a campaign rally in Toledo, Ohio.
You all know that in the debate he said it was smart to avoid paying taxes. Yesterday his campaign was bragging it makes him a genius. Here's my question. What kind of genius loses $1 billion in a single year? This is Trump to a T. He's taken corporate excess and made a business model out of it. He abuses his power, games the system, puts his own interests ahead of the country's. It's Trump first and everyone else last.
Trump, clearly recognizing that he's on the defensive, gave extended prepared remarks today on this matter at a rally in Pueblo, Colorado.
The unfairness of the tax laws is unbelievable. It's something I've been talking about for a long time, despite, frankly, being a big beneficiary of the laws. But I'm working for you now. I'm not working for Trump. As a businessman and real estate developer, I have legally used the tax laws to my benefit and to the benefit of my company, my investors, and my employees. I mean, honestly, I have brilliantly used those laws.
So that is not the only area, however, where Donald Trump is on defense. The AP has a new piece out in which more than 20 cast and crew members of The Apprentice were interviewed, and some of them described crass and sexist behavior by Trump. The Center for Public Integrity published a report that more than a decade ago, Trump's real estate company rented office space to an Iranian bank with purported ties to Hezbollah and Hamas. And today we also learned that on Friday, New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman sent Trump a letter notifying him that his charitable foundation is violating state law for soliciting donations without the proper certification and ordered it to cease its fundraising immediately. So, Mark, Donald Trump does not have all that many more news cycles left to burn. So the question, the burning question, so to speak, can he get off of defense and onto offense before the debate on Sunday? And if so, how?
Not entirely. The public polling that's out today, which we'll discuss later in the program, is mostly bad for him. There's a few bright spots, but clearly he's lost ground since the debate. All the totality of the national and battleground state polling suggests. He's on the defensive, and the debate performance is what set it all off. And so I just think the press is not, even if things go slightly his way, barring some huge disclosure about Hillary Clinton, I think Trump's going to be on the defensive. He can claw his way back, but it really does wait for the debate.
Here's how this tax story, I think, is problematic for him, because, first of all, the reporters involved are still, they're promising they're working on more stories to come. They want to get those stories out as soon as possible, ideally before this debate, so they're pursuing that angle. You know, Trump's argument here about the tax thing would be very powerful, I think, if he actually put his tax returns out and said, here's the ways in which I've manipulated the system. I'm going to put all of that to an end when I'm president. Another Donald Trump in the world, people like me wouldn't be able to do what I did here. But as it is, we are still left to ask the question, what else is in the tax returns? In what other ways did he manipulate the tax system? What is the actual story here? And that's why I think those questions will persist over this week and keep him on defense all the way till Sunday.
I'll tell you another thing that probably most voters aren't thinking about, but I'm thinking about. Most of the stories involving the foundation reflect very poorly on Trump's attorneys. Whoever was doing the legal work for the foundation, they made a lot of mistakes. I doubt Trump was directly involved in too many of those decisions, but the lawyers should have stopped him from doing some of these things. These same types of people, lawyers and accountants, would have been involved in handling his tax returns. So I think Trump now even more needs to release his returns, because while the New York Times story doesn't allege that he did anything illegal, or that they even necessarily pushed the envelope, he has shown clearly that he hires lawyers and accountants who are not very careful in what they do.
Well, yes, and of course, when you hire bad people, ultimately you're responsible, just as a candidate is responsible for his campaign.
As a filer of tax returns, you
and
are
as,
for sure.
and as someone who runs a charitable foundation, you can't just lay it off on the attorneys and the accountants. Again, if he keeps not releasing the tax returns after this revelation, it just raises, I mean, it just makes people wonder, what else is a problem in the tax returns?
Yep.